Wave your hands in the air like you just don't care. Okay, we are recording.
Super.
All right. Okay, excellent. So I'll be doing my seminar today on mainly tastings. Okay, so these are not available except for this one in the United States. So I brought back about 14 different bottles from Brazil. Had to go through a lot, but to share with you all. This is the main focus of the thesis: to share, contribute to the overall knowledge. You know, it's the bartender's deal. I feel that it's been a long time coming, and you're starting to see more aged cachaças come to the market. Okay, so first up, they use over 20 different woods with aged cachaças. We're going to be tasting 9 different ones, including oak. They call it their carvalho. Okay, so the first one is grapia. So it's Brazilian ash. Okay, and it has highest color intensity. So the first one we'll be tasting today, and this is on your tasting charts in front of you. We're going to be working from our top left, working this way and down. So we got 9 tastings. I've included water, spit cups, and cucumbers if you want to, you know,
Rinse your palate.
cleanse out your palate, and coffee beans if you want to clear the olfactory center. Okay. So the grapia, also known as Brazilian ash, that's the top left. I'm going to pass around the wood sample. It has the highest color intensity. And here's the specimen is Minho de Huesa. It's only been aged, actually stored. There's 2 different ways you can age cachaça. Stored, it can be kept in any amount of time in a vessel. Usually, they're called dornas. They can be anywhere from hundreds to tens of thousands of liters in the dornas, and they're huge. So it's stored in a dorna for 3 months of grapia, or Brazilian ashwood. That's Minho de Huesa. Okay.
And that is in here, right?
Yeah, the top left. Very fresh, so you still get the accents of, you know, fresh cane in there, but a little bit of citrus in there as well. Okay, so it's probably the youngest of all the ones that you're going to taste. The rest are all over the place. Okay.
So this is rested?
It's yeah, they call it armazenada. If it's not in a barrel, if it's envelhecida, it's going to be kept in barrels of the most 185 gallons. Okay, for at least 1 year.
So this is the equivalent of a reposado because it doesn't have to go in a barrel.
Not really. I wouldn't think of it like that because the 2 terms are really different. The age times are similar to tequila, but the containers, the armazenada or rested, can be, like I said, can be huge. It can be barrels, but they can be kept in the dornas, which can be huge, up to tens of thousands of liters of, you know, being rested there.
Gotcha.
The other side is envelhecida. It's 50% of the cachaça has to be rested in barrels of no more than 185 gallons. Okay. So 1 year is going to be, let's see here. Let's see here. Let's go on to the next one. I'm sorry. The next one is going to be our oak counterparts. So
we can taste when we want, I'm sorry?
Yeah, you can taste number 1 if you'd like. That's the Minho de Huesa, and that's aged in the grapia, Brazilian ash.
The grapia contributes what?
It contributes mainly color. There's a study composed in Brazil of 10 different woods, and that's included in the thesis too. And grapia had the highest level of color intensity. So only being there for 3 months, it does have a little bit of color.
Really?
It's
Yeah.
not Chardonnay, but it's got a little hue to it.
The Minha de Huesa, no?
The Minho
Before
de
the
Huesa,
top left, yeah?
The top left. A little bit of color to it.
That's
Not
very-
much.
Wow.
Had a higher color intensity than oak.
This is the product.
So mainly color. It does add some maturation congeners, not as high as oak, but it's up there. So that's the grapia wood there.
The alcohol seemed to be a little more forward as well, but
The next one we're going to go to are 2 different oaks. So we're going to do an American oak. So there's the American oak. This one is Cedro do Líbano. Okay, so that's going to be on the right to the right of the Minho de Huesa. And and I'll pass around the oak sample along with. This uses American oak. They use both European and American oak. The one thing about oak in Brazil, it's not native, so they have to import it all. But these other ones are all native woods. The other ones that we're tasting.
So Tim, I asked Armando previously when he did his presentation, are you aware of how many different types of woods there are right now for barreling?
Yeah, when I was there, it goes back and forth. The people I talked to is between 20 and 25.
Yeah.
There's a gentleman that has helped me with this. You know, he's at a website in Brazil. He's actually chronicling all the different woods of the Amazon, and he goes around to all the different alambics in Brazil, and he chronicles it on his website too. So.
And I'm sorry, what type of wood is this?
That's going to be American oak.
Okay.
Okay. So this is aged for 3 years in American oak.
To me, this has a lot of French oak influence.
Yeah.
So for me, I could, might be able to confuse it with a Calvados.
Number one?
No, number two.
Oh.
Good call.
They're very similar to their American and European counterparts. You will get a lot of vanilla, but with some fresh sugarcane coming through.
Calvados.
Yeah,
Or maybe,
it's out there, but
Yeah, or maybe
now
like-
that he mentions it,
or maybe like a specific.
Maybe more Applejack.
Yeah,
Or
or rum,
lighter.
or
yeah.
an agricole rum. Maybe.
A big time agricole rum.
Yeah.
Well, but it's actually the same sugar cane.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay. And then the next one is going to be an European oak. This is a Valley Verge, and the European oak sample here. That one is going to be directly below the one you just tasted. So, two different plays on the oak. Again, very
So
similar.
sorry,
to,
the Carvalho is 3 years old.
The
The second sample.
the second sample is 3 years old. They do also a 5-year and a 10-year. I got the 3-year here. So this is the Valley Verge, and it's aged in European oak, and that's directly below the one we just had. So on your tasting sheets,
This is very tight grain. It's almost like the Tronçais. So
that's the American one too. So
yeah, it's very.
the one we're tasting, the Valley Verge, is going to be this one right here, just below the one we just tasted. Okay.
Mm.
Now we're going to start getting into some really unique woods. Ones that you won't find here in America, the counterparts. The next one is called Ipe, and the variety is Roxo. So they have different varieties of Ipe. So this is the Ipe wood. And let me know if I'm going too fast, if you need more time to...
A little bit.
evaluate the other ones? Okay.
I'm just evaluating the Carvalho. Just go
Yeah,
through,
yeah. Slow me down if you need to.
I find the Carvalho also typical characteristics of red wine tannins almost behind. I don't know, maybe it's the barrel that was a wine barrel then charred maybe. But I find like dry roses, like Pinot Noir-ish style on the Calvados blend.
This one.
The second one, yeah.
But that's American oak, though.
That's the
It's
American. The
oak,
Cedro
yeah,
is
but I'm
American.
wondering if it's American oak that has been used from wineries, if not brand new, just charred on site. I don't know. Maybe it can be a second fill.
It probably is. It probably is a second fill, yeah. And you can use throughout the seminar and the thesis. Oak is pretty much like the benchmark. We're familiar with that, so you can kind of compare that to all the woods, in terms of color and aromas, things like that.
This one is
That's the European oak.
European oak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you see the grain is much wider for faster evaporation. The other one is quite tight actually. Saliboa.
So, actually, Saliboa we haven't gotten to yet. This is going to be
Yeah, this is
The European one is
third
going to be
one,
the
right?
the Valley
third-
Verge.
The third one is it's
So
under the one you just tasted.
Oh,
Yeah,
sorry,
underworld
my
one,
bad.
sorry.
I missed-
Sally Boa we haven't gotten to yet. This is going to be the Valley Verge
So
extra
Valley
premium.
Verde.
Yeah, that's the one.
So if it says extra premium on the label, it's going to be 3 years at least. Reserva is 5 years plus. We're going to do a Reserva.
Does
That's
it
till
say
the
that
very
in,
end.
and does it say that in English?
Yeah, I think they say Reserva.
Extra
Tim,
premium in English?
Extra premium, yeah.
How old is the Vale Verde?
It's at least 3 years. Yep, it's a extra premium in French oak. By the way, these are all we're kind of going in order if on the actual thesis itself. So if you want to follow along there, so
Okay.
it's got some tasting notes in there as well, my own.
So extra premium just refers to a minimum of 3 years.
Minimum 3 years, yeah. If it's 1 to 3, it's premium, and 5 plus it's Reserva. Now again, it's got to be aged in barrel. At least 50% of the Cachaça has got to be aged in barrels of 185 gallons or less for that time period.
So the 700 liters or
Yeah,
less.
it's going to say that too, envelhecida. So if it's got the term envelhecida, you know it's going to be in the barrels. If it says armazenada, it can be any size greater than 185.
Did you see the Ipioca one? The Ipioca vat?
No, I haven't seen that one yet. No.
The Ipioca, it's huge. It seems it's like a 4 or 5 stories.
Oh yeah,
It's
yeah.
huge.
There's in their rack houses. It reached up from the ground all the way to the ceiling. Yeah.
Tim, what got you started with Cachaça?
I always have a love for Brazil. I train capoeira, so it just got me into it, and I kind of relish in the obscure too. And I saw this potential. Like, there's people know about Cachaça, but they don't know about aged Cachaças. Like, there's so much to it. Like, with all the different woods, it's almost, I think of it kind of like as mezcal. Like, you have and it's almost the same amount of varieties of mezcal. You got about 20 to 25. That's about the same number of different varieties of wood that they use. So you could draw a comparison there too.
In terms of obscurity?
In terms of obscurity and the different aromas and flavors. With Cachaça, it's got different aromas and flavors too, unaged. Same thing with tequila. You get pretty much the flavors of just from the agave, but with mezcals, the flavors are all over the place. Same thing with these woods. The one aged Cachaça, you taste one from Castanheira, which is Brazilian chestnut, and then you go to like balsamo wood, they're completely different. Even though they're aged Cachaças, they're so different. And I think it's a really cool fact.
This one reminds me. A lowland reposado tequila.
Yeah. The Valley Verge.
Yeah, I would be in a blind taste. I would probably think it's by the color, because it's not more Arandas or Highlands, because you don't get the citrus fruit, but you get the minerality and the creaminess
Mm.
of a more lowland tequila. Also pick up a little bit of a typical of coumarin,
Okay. Interesting.
from tonka beans type. So it's the kind of a compound similar to vanilla,
Okay.
but the vanilla comes from the French oak.
Yeah, the French oak.
But it's very elegant and very subtle, and it's got a little bit of that lactose, like creaminess. It's quite special sipping.
Okay, moving on then. The next one is going to be this one right here, the third one over, Saliboa. Okay, so Saliboa uses Ipe, which is unique to Brazil. There's several different varieties, and we're going to be trying the Ipe Roxo. So here's the wood for that, and this is going to be the Saliboa. This is a really unique type of wood. Sometimes they call it Purple Heart here in America. And not so much color. It doesn't give off that much color. But it doesn't have very many maturation congeners, so it's not going to impart that much to the aroma and flavor. I noticed. And it had some really unique smoky aromas, almost like a sour component to it.
It's fantastic.
Yeah,
It reminds me. Have you ever tried RM?
a ram. I've heard that. Yeah.
It's a square bottle. It looks like a.
I think I've heard that.
This is a. Have you? This is you have a lot of milk thistle here.
Yeah.
And, you know, almost like bison grass from Zubrovka.
Yep.
You get that?
Interesting.
What do you taste though? Really?
The cinnamon.
Cinnamon stick, cinnamon bark, coumarin. This is to me an aged cachaça, fantastic flavor profile. I mean,
It's wonderful. I'm not used to this being a cachaça.
dry
which is to your point.
chamomile flowers.
Yeah, oh, it's amazing.
It's really unique stuff.
But to your point, you know, I still have to wrap my arms around an aged cachaça, and you know, to me, cachaça is a blanco style spirit.
Yeah,
Why
it's-
spitting? Why spitting?
Oh, it's
Not
amazing.
necessary.
And raisins. Lots of raisins pop in.
But I get chamomile.
Chamomile. I
Yeah,
love too.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Chamomile
Lots of
coming
chamomile.
through with kind of a
This is a
dairiness.
masterpiece.
Yeah.
I still have to open the one you brought me for my birthday. We need to drink
Yeah.
it together.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow,
Yeah,
what a great product.
amazing.
So this one comes from
So this is from a town called Salinas. There's a story behind going to this town. It's a 2-hour drive from Sao Paulo, and it is the epicenter of Minas Gerais cachaça making, very artisanal. And they actually have a museum there. If we have time, I'll show you the museum visit. But they have so many different artisanal cachaças there, and they actually have the World Cachaça Festival there as well. And the town is maybe 30,000 people, dirt roads everywhere there. And when I was buying cachaça there, the word spreads pretty quickly around the town. And they found out that I was there, and there's some crazy American at the cachaça store looking to buy cachaças. And when I got there, the museum was closed. I was like, this is why I came here. And I went back to the hotel room, and I talked to the innkeeper, and I was like, I translated my Google phone. I was like, do you know anybody that speaks English here? I went back to my room, and I'm great. This thesis is done. I can't do it because the museum's closed. I get a call 5 minutes later from a voice. Hello, is this Tim? I said, yeah, you speak English. And she said, yeah, I'm the only English translator here in town. And she got me access to the museum, everything.
That's
so
awesome.
it was a
Nice to be.
stroke of good luck.
That's
Like
so
without her, I would have lost the first half of the trip. So Salinas is a wonderful town if you ever get there. It's magical.
So sorry, this is 2-3 hours drive from which major city?
2-day drive from Sao Paulo.
Sao Paulo.
2-day drive. Yep.
Inland. So, but it's Minas Gerais or
It's up in the northern, right before northern part of Minas Gerais, right before Bahia. Yep. Cool. Maybe about an hour.
how was the drive?
It was nice actually.
But did you
driving
drive
in the
or-
city was my first day was I thought I was gonna lose my mind, but after that, figuring out how they driving through the countryside was gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous. Yeah.
Cool. Were you by yourself?
Yep. The first week I was.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. First week I was, and the great thing about Salinas is very very dry there throughout most of the year, so the sugarcane is very intense, and it's almost like they stress the vine in winemaking. Same thing in Salinas, very dry. The sugarcane is very intense, and that's one of the things I noticed there. It has a terroir. You don't think of cachaça like that, but it does have a terroir. Okay, so next one is going to be Castañeja. Or did you need a little more time on that, or? Good to go? Okay. So the next one is Castañeja. It's a Brazilian chestnut. Very similar to oak in my tastings. This is going to be on the top right.